Well, James Gunn has just revealed a first look at the new Krypto the Superdog in the Superman Legacy movie for the new DC Universe. Now, I, growing up, watched a Krypto the Superdog TV show, and I was an absolutely huge fan of it because it had two of my favorite things, superheroes and dogs. And it was an enjoyable, fun TV show. I'm pretty sure if I went back and watched it now, that I would probably barf in my own mouth over how kiddish and kid-friendly it actually is. However, this is a first look at it right here. We have what is very evidently a CGI or just kind of PNG picture of the Earth posted in the foreground of the actual, or background of the actual image here, as well as a kind of horribly rendered version of the Superman outfit where he's got the light coming over it. And look, I'm not saying that I could do any better, obviously. I've never done Photoshop a day in my life. So, if you were to give me the tools, I would probably make it look 10 times worse than it does right here. However, you've got this super dog right next to Clark Kent. He's kind of got his ear up. He's looking in the same general direction as Clark. And it seems like they're just kind of sitting together having fun. Now, there are some concerns that I have in relation to the announcement, and I'll get into that in the next slide, or the next picture that I'm going to show you guys, which is an actual tweet or quote from James Gunn as to why it is that we're getting this reveal now and when exactly this came into play. So let me go ahead and get over to that one. As we can see here, we've got this from James Gunn. This is a tweet or an X post. He says, Krypto arrives on screens in Superman this summer. Krypto was inspired by our dog Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs, which, I mean, goodness gracious, that's a horrible way to treat dogs. Just put him in a single backyard with 60 other dogs. It's just going to be horrible filth and terrible treatment of those animals. It really is sad to see. Never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. It took a long time before he would even let us touch him. Yeah, we've picked up a pound dog before as well as a family, and she had been abused when she was just a little baby, so she was very, very nervous every time you would get close to her. It took a good couple of weeks before she would let us come around and pet her, and now she just absolutely loves spending time with us, playing, sitting by the table waiting for food to drop. It's really is fun. She's getting older now, and it's kind of sad to see, but she was really scared at first and became a very protective, very obedient, very close dog. So I understand that, right? It took a long time before he would even let us touch him. I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus, Krypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story as Ozu was changing my life. What better time to debut the not-so-good boy, Krypto, than adopt a sheltered dog month? By the way, Ozu today is fairly often a very good boy. So, the question that I have is, when exactly did the idea of Krypto come into the story for this movie? Before I go any further, I want to say congrats to you, James Gunn, on picking up a dog that was likely being abused and mistreated and taking care of it and showing it love. That dog's going to be a friend and a beloved member of the family for life, just like the one that we've got at my place it has become. Dogs are a special breed of being that just is so amazing to have around. It really is. But going further, talking about this, right, in terms of the story, what does this mean for the story? When did they start writing Krypto into the story, and how much of it did it change? Right? I can only hope that it'll change the story for the better, that it'll give us a more friendly, kind-hearted, loving Superman who gets to take care of a super dog. However, we already have an extremely bloated cast, an extremely bloated crew of characters in this story already. We've got Hawkgirl, we've got Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, we've got Mr. Terrific, we've got several antagonistic forces. I mean, we have just so many people in this story already. We've got Maxwell Lord, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. There's just so many people, there's so many characters in this story. I'm wondering how he's planning on juggling it all. Now, he does very well in ensemble team-up kind of movies. He's very, I mean, I'll die on this hill saying that Scooby-Doo is one of the greatest films of all time because it's just like a goofy cartoon rendition of the story in live action, and I love it, and everyone else who doesn't love it has no taste. So there's that. But he did very well with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. You know, there was an eclectic group of heroes that kind of came together, and it was a team-up movie. So he does very well with large casts. However, I'm curious as to how exactly he's going to balance this out with now Krypto as well. And at what point in the story he did it, and how much of the story had to be changed, how many scenes had to be reshot, or if it was part of the initial scripting process years prior when he started writing the script, probably back in 2023, maybe 2024, early in 2024. Early 2024, because we're still in 2024. Goodness gracious, this year has gone by so fast, I thought I was in next year already. But you've got this potential issue of an over-bloated story, which he's fairly good at balancing out multiple in-depth characters fairly well. And at the same time, you've also just got him admitting that he changed the story due to him adopting a dog and thinking about how that dog with superpowers, or that type of dog with superpowers, would interact with a character like Superman. And now it seems as though in the middle of writing the script, he changed it. So I'm curious if there was any major deviation from what was initially written, or if he started the entire thing over and planned to introduce Krypto this time around. It's an interesting question. I don't have any answers for this. I'm still waiting to see if the movie's going to be good. By all accounts, there's a lot of negative, potentially negative, really terrible storytelling potential here. However, I'm still holding out hope because of the fact that I really do want to see a good big screen Superman rendition, which we haven't gotten for a while, and the closest thing that we did get was probably 2006's Superman Returns, and even people then didn't like it because he kind of had this drab, sepia-colored, kind of muted color tone, along with him being a stalker over Lois and several other repetitions of doing the same thing as the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. Then we got the actual Henry Cavill movie in 2013, a massive time distance between the two films there. Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, which Henry Cavill got shafted on that, where he was playing Clark Kent, Superman, being a hero in a movie where he's doing his very first steps, and it didn't get handled exactly the way that comic book fans wanted it to. And I'm not going to say that it's an excellent movie. I think that for the universe that it was being crafted in, I enjoy it. However, it's definitely not comic book Superman. It's definitely not traditional Superman. So I am still waiting to see a good, traditional, fun, lighthearted, but earnest traditional Superman story. I really hope that James Gunn can deliver. However, it does still seem as though he's focusing on introducing an entire universe in one film, when it would be better to start off with just telling one story and building the universe from there. Focus on making a first good impression, and then worry about creating everything else as you go. That's my biggest thing regarding how this should operate, because that was basically what they did with the Marvel Cinematic Universe when they've made Iron Man 1, and they teased a potential for a massive universe later on down the line, and eventually we got there. And of course nowadays, because of all the bloat and all the bureaucracy, it's become this massively tanking franchise. It has just fallen apart. But nevertheless, I want to know your guys' thoughts. I have concerns, obviously I've listed them. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments below. Smash that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. I hope you guys have a great day and a great rest of the week.